episode 12 of season 2 of A Brief History of Nothing.
English is still a struggle for you, isn't
English is still hard. I am James. Again, English is hard.
Yes, I am Ray, in the dark, tall and handsome.
Yes, strictly in the dark. Anyway, well, first thing we wanted to mention, there was a bit of a scary moment last Saturday night, not far from where we live, actually.
Yes, it's only about 100 k's up the road. A sizable sinkhole opened up in the middle of a campground at a place called Inskip Point, which is near a place called Rainbow Beach, which is quite well known to people who don't live in the area. Yes. Now, Noosa, it's not far from the town of Noosa as well, which is international people might know Noosa.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so at about 10 o'clock Saturday night, there was rumbling noises, everyone ran for their lives, and a sinkhole 200 metres wide by 50 metres wide by 8 metres deep swallowed four-wheel drive, a camper trailer, a caravan and several tents. But fortunately, I have a very sick sense of humour now. Fortunately, no one was hurt and no one was killed. So
yeah, that's
all's good, but hopefully they will get the insurance on what they lost.
Yeah, now they've got a big swimming hole.
Yes. Anyway, well,
tonight
we were going to talk about, well, bodges.
Yes, engineering. Well, this will be good, or maybe not so good.
Yeah, no.
First one, fix this.
First one is, well, it's just a private bodge job. A couple of weeks ago in Adelaide, a gentleman was driving down the road with severe cosmetic damage to his car and 2 flat tyres in the front. And the local constabulary thought, this is a little weird. Pulled the gentleman over. Discovered that this particular gentleman didn't have a steering wheel. No. What he did, at the stub of his steering column, where the steering wheel actually sits, he'd put a pair of locking pliers.
Yes.
Because that is safe.
Yes.
No, it's not, because he'd already been in the hit and run, hence the cosmetic damage.
Yes, I don't think he could be any less safe than his driving already was.
Yes, and I don't think he has 2 neurons to rub together.
Probably not. That one neuron is like out there going, anybody?
Hello. Anyway, in a slightly more well-known bodge particularly to Australians, this is an old people thing, so you can explain this one.
In 1964, the 1964 model Holden, for those, is the GM product in Australia. Yeah. One of the most popular and well-loved Holdens that have ever been built, the old E.H. Holden in Australia. And then they had to do a model change for 1965. So Holden promptly designed a car.
General Motors went,
Seriously, I have seen a picture of the car that never was, the 65 Holden.
And it's very hard to find on the internet.
Yeah, no, it was in a magazine article.
English is hard.
Many years ago. And seriously, it was like Holden decided that the 50s were fine but boxier. It was just horrendous, this thing. So they sent this horrendous design to head office in Detroit.
In the United States.
And the head office took one look at it and went, no, never, no. So they set about designing another car. But the problem was, because 1965 was rapidly approaching, they couldn't build a new floor pan, so they used the Holden 64 floor pan and put a much bigger body on it. So as a consequence, a huge overhang over all the wheels, and it looked like it was, in Australia it's the HD model, and most people describe it as hastily designed.
And then I think a year later...
That went for about 18 months, barely, which was one of the shortest model changes ever in Holden.
Gee, I wonder why.
They replaced it with the HR, which had... As far as bits and pieces go, I mean, suspension upgrades and all sorts of things, it was a quantum leap in front of the EH or the HD, but it still got stuck with this facelifted very small floor pan with a much bigger body on it. I mean, as someone who was hotting up cars in the early and mid 70s and into the late 70s, we loved HDs and HRs because the government regulations were that your wide wheels couldn't poke out past the guards. Well, if you had 11 inches of overhang, it was pretty easy to keep them under the guards. So
yeah,
that was very good. But the poor little 6-cylinder engine, it was, if you got 10-inch wheels on the back of your HR, the poor little 6-cylinder engine was having a struggle. It looked cool,
that's 250mm bag size for those in metric land.
Yes.
So you can imagine how big. It's like most cars now. You have 185, 215 bag size. That's the width of the tread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The consequence was that the HD and then subsequently the HR had horrendous body roll. I mean, when they went round the corner, they damn near scraped the door handles.
I had a Volvo like that. It was like...
Yes. So they were replaced fairly swiftly. Fairly swiftly. I mean, the HR had a longer life and was actually quite loved by a lot of Australians. It was a very popular car in Australia, the HR, but it still was a real compromise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so in a bit more recently,
yes.
There's on 20 Fenchurch Street in the City of London, which is different from London. It's complicated. There is a guy who thought, here's a plan, why don't we build a building where the top of it is actually slightly wider than the bottom of it. And on the southern side, now remember, London is in the northern hemisphere, so the midday sun is in the south, yes. Mind you. So the southern side of the building has a nice concave surface to it, yes. Which is full of glass.
Yes, so let's build a giant magnifying glass.
Yes.
And focus the light
on the street below.
No, so it swings and arcs through the street as the sun changes its position.
And several car owners had to pay hundreds of pounds to repair their cars after this thing had its way. Yeah. And the same guy who designed this building, it's called the walkie-talkie, or the walkie-scorchy sometimes, because it's just this weird-looking building. It's the same guy designed the Hotel Vidara in
Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And had this nice, big, curved, long facing surface.
Oh, great.
So I mean, if you got the pool, you'd get suntanned and also burnt to a crisp.
Great. So maybe that's his plan. He's going to heat the pool water with solar energy.
That's the one. Solar heated pool. Anyway,
anybody between the glass wall and the pool, of course, is vaporised, but hey, the pool will be warm.
But yeah, they had to put anti-reflective coating on the windows in this building in Las Vegas, and had to put awnings all the way out on the south side of this building. Well done.
Well done.
Well done, idiot.
Yes. So, the Hubble Space Telescope. We all sort of know about this one, but
yes. I mean, I was 5 when it was launched. I think. No, it was early 1990, wasn't it? I was 4.
Yes.
It's alright, I can't maths. I can't English and I can't maths.
That's good.
That's good.
So all that money that went into your education, what did you actually do with it?
I'm not comfortable saying that.
Okay. It was singing lessons, wasn't it?
Maybe?
You can't sing either.
Anyway, so, I mean, they want to do... the idea of a space telescope had been around since the 20s, and there'd been plans to launch one for quite some time, through the 70s and 80s, but there were several funding setbacks, and also the slight case of the Challenger exploding, and they had to sort of regather after that. But finally, in 1990, they launched the Hubble Space Telescope, and switched her on, and it was fuzzy.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure the air at NASA turned blue.
I reckon it probably would have, yes.
But I mean, we're talking about an error of 2.2 microns. The thing was, the parabolic mirror was 2.2 microns too flat. I mean, those tolerances would be ridiculous in just your standard telescope for stargazing, but we're talking about something that's meant to look at galaxies billions of light years away.
If you want to know what sort of distance, if you've got a bit of gold-plated jewellery, the plating on it is about 10 times thicker than the...
Yeah, that's what it is. And anyway, so 3 years later, they had to go up and put all these corrective mirrors in it to actually... So now it works like a dream.
Yes. Now it's fixed its eye problems.
It's finished its problems. Now, speaking of bodges, you're probably wondering what these 2 jars with a ruler across them is in front of me.
This is our next attempt at charging a phone. This is our ongoing fail thing. So
yes. Hopefully, we have magnesium rods this time. We're using magnesium, not aluminium.
We're going crazy.
We're going absolutely crazy. Now, anything shorting out, making sure, hopefully there's not smoke.
Ready when you
Mum,
are, Grizzly.
I love you. Look, if we die in this experiment, I just want to know I love my family and leave everything to my younger siblings. Here we go.
What, all your debts?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. You wouldn't need some in both, then, you?
Yeah, I know. Here we go. There's a big lump of it at the bottom.
Oh, good.
The joys of living in Queensland.
Yes.
It's humid.
Humidity is good.
Humidity is good. And ice cream parlours love it because all their ice cream turns to concrete.
Okay.
Alrighty. Now I have down here, that's the citric acid. I have down here 5 litres of
Demilitarised water.
demilitarised water.
And to Brett Walker, that is something I will never forget.
Anyway, I'm going to stand up. The camera's going to decapitate me as I do this. Because I've got to very, very carefully walk very carefully so I don't knock anything. And very carefully, hopefully not spilling any of it. It looks promising.
You don't need the water any higher.
Let's see how this goes. The magnesium is fizzing.
Oh, that's very
That
good.
is always a good sign. In fact, it's doing well. Oops, hang on. This one isn't stirred real well. But it's still going for all it's worth. Right, we'll just put that a little bit higher. How's that one fizzing? That one's fizzing quite well. I'll put the because there's still about a litre of water in there. And my brother and I's landlord would love us if we spilled it. Alrighty. Ready, set.
There we go.
Nope.
You want to get the
Hang on. Is it? Oh. Fail. Again.
well, we want to get the voltmeter out and just see how many volts it's
How many, yeah. Voltmeter we put behind us.
I think it might be our connections rather than our battery.
Yeah. As you can see, it's gone to town. It really is. Alright, how many volts? Hold that up for the nice people at home. Alrighty, disconnect this. There's the negative. I can feel it getting warm, by the way. Oops, hang on. Why don't we clip those together?
We'll make sure nothing's touching.
Don't quite have enough volts.
We're kicking out. Well, this is the best attempt so far.
We've got 3.6 volts. And that's actually gone down quite significantly. Oh no, it's just the way the light is.
Yeah, and the steam is coming up.
And how many amps are we pulling?
I don't know, but I reckon it's not quite enough volts.
We've topped out the milliamps. We're going to have to. Oh no, we've got. Oh yeah, we've got about. We don't have enough. Quite enough.
That's really starting to boogie now too.
That's really starting to get down in Mambo.
We're kicking out. What is that? 30.
We're seeing about 37 milliamps, which is not enough to charge the phone.
That's
we need about 100 milliamps. I'm just wondering. I have some tartaric acid. If we sprinkle that in, maybe we can get there's some mixing happening in here.
Okay, well.
If we do some mixing, where's the mixing? I didn't get something to mix with.
A screwdriver.
A screwdriver, which we are sorely lacking of in this room. Ah well, Next time. Although that is dissolving in. That is slowly dissolving in, and oh yeah.
Okay, there we go. What? You want that in there, do you?
Yep. Sprinkle her in. Oh, we're getting up there.
That's going absolutely mental.
It is. How heat-proof are these things, by the way?
They're pretty heat-proof.
We've got 40 milliamps.
40 milliamps and
40.
how many volts?
How many volts?
No,
We should have the same amount of volts. Just crank it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still don't quite have the voltage.
Yeah. With just over 3.5 volts.
So I reckon if we had a third one of these, what do you reckon?
It would be a going thing.
You think it would be a going thing?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Nearly there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So next week we're going to add another one.
Add another one, and there'll be so much hydrogen in this room, hydrogen and oxygen in this room, that a warm fart will just turn into a fireball. Anyway, so before we go to our fiery deaths,
Yes.
because of hydrogen, I won't grab your script.
No, I'd like to keep my script.
You would?
Yes.
Oh.
Now,
God,
on
he's
this
fussy.
day, okay, now,
$13.99. So you know,
a real Game of Thrones.
real life game, yeah.
King Richard II of England was
Maths is
deposed.
hard.
Well, there now you know where you get it from.
Yeah.
By his cousin Henry of Lancaster, and Henry of Lancaster then declared himself king as Henry IV. The American Revolution, 1780. British spy John Andre was court-martialed and found guilty and sentenced to hang on this day. 1913, inventor Rudolf Diesel disappeared.
Yeah.
Maybe
The guy that invented the diesel engine.
Went up in smoke.
He just... no one knows where he went. That's weird.
Okay, 1918, Allied forces break through the Hindenburg Line and the into Germany proper. So the war was
Pretty much done and dusted.
And 1939, a pact between Nazi Germany and Russia divided up Poland. Okay, now birthdays on this day.
Who got born?
Right.
Who is he?
Manuel. Yeah, look. All of those who know Don Quixote, you know who wrote it. The guy who wrote Don Quixote was born on this day, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
He was born in 1547 in this day, and he died in 1616.
Yes. And now, Michelangelo.
The guy that sort of did a ceiling job, they went up to him and said, ceiling is painted in the Sistine Chapel. He said, alright, okay. And he's like, that works.
Yep, and decided, hey, what we need is a giant statue of a naked young boy with all his junk hanging out.
Yes.
Yeah, Michelangelo was born on this day in 1571. Now, Horatio Nelson, British naval hero. He was born on this day in 1758.
And in 1901...
Yes, you would know who this chap is.
Enrico Fermi, yes. Yes, he's a nuclear physicist, also involved with the Manhattan Project. So during World War II, the developing the bombs that were dropped on Japan, basically.
Yes.
And he also was involved, I believe, I might be wrong about this, he was involved in the world's first nuclear reactor, which they built in the squash court under the grandstands of the University of Chicago.
Yes.
You would have thought that they would build it out in the desert just in case something went pop.
No, obviously not.
No, obviously not. I mean,
Now,
we're doing this in a room with no... so, we can't really talk.
No. Yes, now, an interesting one. On this day, and obviously the lady in question was a bit coy about her actual age, because one source has her age at 1904, born in 1904, and one source has her year of birth as 1908. It's Greer Garson. Born in Northern Ireland, made a career for herself in English films, and then went on to make a huge career in Hollywood films. She was born on this day, either in 1904 or 1908.
We just don't know.
Yes.
It is a mystery.
Yes, and if anyone doesn't know who Greer Garson is, find out who Mrs. Miniver is.
Yeah. And Jerry Lee Lewis, famous country and rock singer.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. Before that,
Great Ball of Fire and a Whole Lot of Shakin', I think.
yes.
Yeah.
In 1913, Stanley Kramer, producer director, Inherit the Wind, brilliant movie, and he was born in 1935.
It's still boring. It's an old movie.
Now,
didn't say anything.
the first female president of Chile, Michelle, and
Here we go. Where is it? Where is it?
Bachelet.
I think I'm sorry, but my Spanish, English is hard enough. Don't ask me Spanish.
Yes, well, she was Chilean president from 2006 to 2014. She was born in Santiago on this day in 1951. Now, 10 years later, in 1961, former Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard, our first female Prime Minister.
Most people would know who she is. She's the one that ousted Kevin Rudd, who then got ousted by Kevin Rudd.
Yes, and then both of them got ousted by...
Tony Abbott.
Wingnut, yeah.
Yeah, Wingnut. Who then got ousted by Malcolm Turnbull.
Yes, we like to play musical Prime Ministers in this country. It keeps everybody guessing as who's going to be the Prime Minister next week.
And it's going to be another, I think, no, it's next year, the next federal election is. Yes.
Okay, Zachary Levi, American actor.
Been in things like iCarly, you might know him from iCarly.
Okay, now, big birthday today. She's former internet radio DJ, mother of three, all around generally good guy, Katie Hall. Happy birthday, Katie.
Hi.
Hi. It's her birthday today. I would tell you what her age is, but it's not nice to tell a lady's age. Okay.
Anyway, I just want to see how warm this water is. It's actually not that warm. You would think it'd be warmer.
Yeah.
But it's not actually that warm.
Alright.
Alright, that's us for another week. If you like us, actually hit like.
Yep. Share us with your friends, inflict this on the people you don't like, and we'll see you on the dark side. We have cookies.
Bye.